It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
It's showtime. What's happening, everybody? Yes, you know who it is? Oh, you don't know who it is? Okay, see the sign right there. I am he is me, the Geno Jones Show. I am Geno. I come to you live right here on my YouTube channel, which I encourage, I insist, I implore, even if I have to get on one knee and beg like Babyface and Keith Sweat, baby, 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 please, like Lenny Williams back in the day, because I love you, baby, baby, please, baby, 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 please. Subscribe to the Geno Jones channel, share this and every episode, and like every episode. So subscribe, share, and like the Geno Jones channel, the Geno Jones Show, part of the Geno Jones Network. It's Wednesday. Shout out to all my working divas. On my Working Divas Wednesday, I do a segment on my radio show in the daytime. You can find me on my TuneIn app, or on the TuneIn app. It's not mine. Star 997, Star 99.7 here, the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. And then I'm here live doing my variety show. So once again, please subscribe to the channel. Share this in every episode. Tell everybody you know to subscribe to the channel so I can start getting some of them YouTube checks. And if you're looking for the ultimate pitchman or brand ambassador to help you build your brand or your business to generate more sales and revenue, more attention, more eyeballs, more clicks, yes, I am the ultimate pitchman. I am the baddest brand ambassador in the business. Or you're looking for that influencer? Oh man, I am the most intense influencer. Simply put, I'm the king of pitchmen. Not the king with an I. I'm the king with an A. The king of pitchmen. Leave me a message. So today's monologue, I want to start off. So America, or many in this country, don't want to ban bigotry and racism and hate in all its forms. Racism, anti-Semitism, anti-religious hate, anti-Muslim hate, anti-immigrant hate, hating against the immigrant no matter where they come from the Caribbean or from Central or South America or Mexico or maybe Haiti or from Asia. Now, if you're European, blonde-haired and blue-eyed, come on down. But America doesn't want to ban bigotry and homophobia and transphobia and just hate. And let's not even talk about sexism and misogyny and patriarchy. No, my brother, my sister. America doesn't want to ban bigotry. But you know what they want to ban? You know what America wants to ban, or many inside of America? They want to ban books. And not just any books. I'm talking about a book like Beloved by one of the most accomplished, renowned, one of the greatest novelists and authors in the history of this planet, not just in America. A beautiful black woman, rest in peace, named Toni Morrison, Pulitzer Prize winning author, Nobel Prize winning author, they called it Nobel laureate, which means she won a Nobel Prize for literature, for her writings. Toni Morrison was a bad, you know what? She was a bad, bad black woman. Yes, she was. And her novel, Beloved, is one of the most iconic novels ever written by anyone. Now, the book Beloved tells the story of a runaway enslaved woman that eventually killed her baby daughter because she didn't want her daughter to grow up, to be enslaved. She didn't want her daughter to grow up and deal with everything she had to deal with. And even though she had ran away with her baby daughter, she didn't want to take a chance on being captured and in her daughter having to live through the horrors, all the horrible aspects, lynchings, rape, murder. She didn't want that life for her daughter. So she'd think about it. A mother was so traumatized by the institution of slavery that she would kill her daughter, her own baby daughter, because she didn't want her daughter to have to grow up, to go through many of the things that she did as a mother. That's pretty heavy. Think about that. So you got a man that's running for governor in Virginia. He wants to ban the book Beloved. And other books like that teach about the horrors of slavery. Because, now here's the reason why. Because it will give white children and teenagers, white kids, they're only talking about white kids. This has been the complaint by people like this governor. All right? Well, we don't want these white children to read these stories, these books, that critical race theory, because, it will, oh my God, it will give our white children and teenagers nightmares and make them feel bad about their heritage and their ancestors. Well, damn, how do you think the black kids who've had to read all kind of books, To Kill a Mockingbird, to deal with lynching and murder, just the actual history of America. So when you hear this term by some people, here, just follow me, go with me real quick here, because there's what I like to call a common thread, okay? I like to translate, because, sometimes a person will say something to you, but you have to know how to translate it. Translate it. Interpret it. Filter it out. What do they say, what do they really mean? All right? Sometimes some people talk, you got to be able to really see it with your third eye and hear it with your third ear. I just translate it. Transform and translate it. So when you hear people talking about, well, we don't want critical race theory to be taught because it's going to brainwash our children. They want to brainwash and indoctrinate our children. Oh, they want to tell lies. No. First of all, for the record again, critical race theory is a theory and a class that's only taught in law school and postgraduate school. So unless you are attending a law school in one of the major universities in America, you wouldn't know critical race theory if it hits you upside your head. And it is taught in law school because it's the theory of how, and it's not a theory, it's a fact. They back it up with facts and evidence. That so many of our laws, our Jim Crow laws, and our laws before the Civil War, segregation just were inherently racist. And how law was used by those who wanted to further this whole concept of white nationalism. Laws were used to oppress, to subjugate, to take away the basic human rights of a group of people that look like me. And the legal system was part of the whole institutionalized racism that still exists to this day on very many levels. And the legal system was, and still in many cases, just one of those systems to where this whole concept and notion of white nationalism, to where this hierarchy of whiteness, which is some made up BS that was created in the 1600s, the 1670s, in the 17th century, the late 1670s, over in Europe, they came up with this concept of whiteness. Because whiteness is not, it's not a biological fact. If you get a DNA test, they're not going to say, the DNA test is not going to come back like I've said so many times. Oh, you're like 40% white, you're 30% black. No, it will state the region of this planet you come from. Oh, you've got so much of let's say, a German heritage, or Italian heritage, or Portuguese heritage, or you've got African heritage from Cameroon, or Nigeria, or Ghana, or Ethiopia, or Egypt. No DNA test is going to come back and say, oh, you're like 80% black. No. It'll say, oh, African heritage. What part of Africa? Cameroon, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, South Africa, Egypt, Sudan. It'll say that. Or European heritage. Germany, French, Italian, Eastern European, or maybe Asian. Persia, and Persia is like that's the Middle East, or Chinese. So, once again, let's go back. So, I'm doing that. I just jumped in, just wanted to clear up this whole critical race theory. Now, let me rewind you and take you back about people who'd rather ban books than bigotry. So, you've got parents, politicians, and other privileged people who, for a lot of reasons, who want to just basically, who want to further uphold and spread this ideology of white nationalism, and that whiteness is superior in every and any form. There's some who even basically want to perform genocide to eradicate all non-white people, who want to start like a global race war leading to some kind of nuclear war. You think I'm making this up? Just Google the Turner Diaries. It's like this white nationalist fantasy novel. But they believe this. And there are many of these white nationalists in this country. Many of those people, many of those domestic terrorists that you saw storm the United States Capitol on January 6th. Hell, some of them had that diary in their backpack. For many of them, it is their Bible, the Turner Diaries. Just Google it. It's horrifying. It is. All that falls into this whole false, made-up, brainwashed, dangerous ideology of white nationalism. This is real. Now, some people are not as overtly violent. Some of them don't necessarily sleep with the Turner Diaries under their bed. They just don't want the truth about American history to be taught. So they don't want you to, we got to ban books like Beloved. We don't want our children reading that. We don't want them to read Alex Haley's Roots. We don't want them to read Sister Nicole Hannah-Jones's beautiful project that she released with the New York Times, the 1619 Project. It talks about the intersection of slavery from that's what's called the 1619 Project, from when the first Africans were brought to these shores in mid-August of 1619, right around this little small area, Jamestown, Virginia, and the intersection of slavery and how the institution was a huge economic engine. It was big business, and how racism, bigotry, even to this day, hate and fear, racism, for some, is big business. For Fox News, or I call it fake news, the real fake news, the original, it's big business. There's politicians. Fear and hate is big business. They get reelected. Then you get this guy just running for governor who puts on a suit and a tie, and he smiles and he's, hey, I'm a rich guy. I was a venture capitalist guy. But we got to keep out that these buzzwords, as people call them. You know, buzzwords. Listen with the third ear, see with the third eye. Critical race theory. So when you hear people say, oh, we don't want critical race theory being taught, they are telling you they do not want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about America's history. They only want the good to be taught. They want to talk about our founding fathers, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, but they don't want you to know that all of those men owned slaves. They enslaved people. Thomas Jefferson got turned out. That's right, Thomas Jefferson got turned out and sprung by his slave, Sally Hemings. She turned him out so bad, he left the country and took her, and they moved to France. Man, you talking about WAP. Whoa, Sally Hemings, all due respect to my sister, but boy, she put the WAP on him. she put that WAP on him. He's like, put your mama on the phone. I ain't never coming home, and I ain't never like your ass anyway. It's a classic scene. If you saw Harlem Nights, you kind of remember that. Sunshine. Maybe that might have been Sally Hemings' nickname, Sunshine. Because Sally Hemings must have had the sunshine, and Thomas Jefferson was the dude, the little bag dude, the white dude that was sitting on the phone and called his wife. And his kids answered the phone and said, put your mama on the phone. Hey, this is me. I ain't never coming home. So when you hear people say, oh, I don't want critical race theory to be taught, they don't want the truth to be taught. Because they say, well, I don't want my white son or daughter, a woman in Virginia, I don't want my teenage son to have nightmares. Oh my God, they read Beloved and he had nightmares. Well, damn, if he had nightmares, how do you think if he had any, how do you think his black classmates felt? Did you ever stop to think or even care how we as black people still to this day have to feel? To know that our ancestors were lynched and murdered and raped, and then you all try to remix it and lie and say, well, now, a lot of the slaves were happy and that their masters treated them well. They fed them. They had a home. Really? They got Sunday off. Really? But didn't talk about how that the women were raped. Some of the men were raped. That the families were separated. In many cases, they were forced to breed and have children so those children could be sold off. They would have babies and couldn't raise their babies because their babies were being sold into slavery in many cases. Or they were being born and they were being placed in bondage. And if they had a female child, by the time she would hit 12, 13, 14, that the master would rape her like the mother. They don't want that. These people who say, oh, we don't want critical race theory to be taught because they don't want you to know the truth, and they don't want their children to know the truth because their kids may have a nightmare or feel bad. And black folks have been having nightmares in America for 402 years. Man, miss me with that. Miss me with that message. But you know what? And I said this the other day, and I'm going to say it again. I hope that those young white kids read books like Beloved, or read the 1619 Project, or read Alex Haley's novel, Roots, or just learn the truth about what happened to our Native American indigenous brothers and sisters. How you had people that got lost on a voyage, found themselves in this country, gave it a name, took these people's land, these Native American brothers and sisters, literally stole their land, killed them, murdered them, moved them off their land in Florida and Georgia, in Alabama, and forced them toward Texas, and primarily Oklahoma, put them on someplace called reservations, gave them blankets infected with smallpox and no vaccine. No, they don't want that to be, they don't want their children to know that. They don't want them to feel bad. But I want their children to feel bad. They don't want them to be ashamed. No, I hope that they are. And here's why. Because their children give me hope. Because if their children display shame, disgust, if they feel bad about another human being being mistreated by a fellow human being, then that gives me hope. Because that means that these children have more humanity, compassion, and empathy than their damn parents and ancestors. And that these children will make sure that we in this country and hopefully on this planet never, ever, 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 ever repeat the mistakes of their ancestors. That's why I hope that their children get to read Beloved. And if there's any young white brothers and sisters out there watching this, I hope you have the humanity and the compassion and empathy to see the horror of hate in all its forms, to see the horror of the transatlantic slave trade, to whereby many accounts 40% of the Africans that were brought from West Africa to the Americas died from that long journey, being in these small boats down in the hulls, laying next to other soon-to-be slaved Africans. Disease and death all around the slaves, the enslaved people that survived. 12.5 million Africans were part of this transatlantic slave trade. So just imagine, if those numbers are really accurate, 40%, you can just do the math. 40%, if 12.5 million made it and they lost 40%, 40% of those who were actually part of the transatlantic slave trade died. Bottom line is, millions of Africans died on those slave ships. And the Africans that survived and somehow lived through having death and disease, literally inhaling that every day for months, 5, 6 months in. So my young brothers and sisters that's watching, I hope you do feel bad about that. Because I would feel horrible. I feel horrible. As a kid, I felt horrible when I learned about the Holocaust. How could one human, how could a group of humans do that to another group of humans who hadn't done anything to them? So I hope you feel bad and turn that pain and shame and disgust, turn that pain into power to make sure that you teach your children not to hate any group of people who haven't done anything to them. That hate is irrational, and that we are all human, part of the human race. Because if a meteor comes and strikes this planet, the meteor is not just going to kill black folks, it's going to kill white folks and Asian folks and Hispanic, Latinx. It's going to kill everybody. Those from India, Australia. COVID-19 has killed over 743,000 Americans in about 20 months. And it is not discriminated. This virus doesn't only pick white folks, or only pick black folks, or only pick Latino or Hispanic or Latinx folks, or Chinese American, or Muslim American, or atheists, or Italian American, or Irish American. The virus isn't racist. The virus isn't sexist. The virus isn't homophobic. The virus just looks for a human host. Who you pray to, the pigmentation of your skin, how much melanin you do or don't have in your body, don't matter. Who you fall in love with, the virus didn't care, and it doesn't care. And that should be a lesson, to all of us. So to my young people, and if you know a young or not so young white brother and sister, please send them this episode. Tag their social media page, copy the link to this show, copy and paste it on their page, email it to them, tell them to subscribe to the channel, call them up and tell them just to come watch, or when it's over, they can go back and watch the whole thing. I want you to learn the truth. We all should learn this history as Americans, because we all have the capacity for good and we all have the capacity for evil. And hopefully we learn from the hatred and evil that we've seen in the past, the atrocities of the transcontinental slave trade, the atrocities of the genocide of Native Americans here in this country, the atrocities of the Holocaust in Germany, to remind us that they are humans. There are some of us that have the capacity for great evil and destruction and sin and irrational, blinding hatred because of the color of one's skin or because of the God that they may pray to or worship. We should all learn from that and vow to never, ever, ever let anything or anyone cause us to hate that bad, that we lose our sense of humanity as humans. Animals don't act that way in the wild. And we're supposed to be the most sophisticated animal on the planet. And we can behave in the most unsophisticated, animalistic. We can be more animalistic than the wildest animal in the jungle. But at the same time, claim to be the most sophisticated animal being on the planet. Can't be both. Which one are we going to be? Which one are you going to be? I know which one I'm going to be. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Please share this and every, as my man Nelly would say, every episode. And like all the episodes. Tell everybody you know, listen, it is the best and baddest show in the business, the Geno Jones Show. Like I said, if you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to advertise, I'd love to have you as an advertiser, a sponsor on the show. If you're looking for the ultimate pitch man, or now let's say brand ambassador. Yes, that brand ambassador to help you build your brand, your business, to help you generate more sales and revenue, to move your goods, your services, your products. I know Beyonce and B&J, they are brand ambassadors for Tiffany. Yo, Tiffany, holla at your boy. Oh, yeah. I got some folks that can afford to run on down there in Tiffany's and get a few items in that little blue box you got there. Or if you're looking for the ultimate influencer, oh, yeah, I'm that guy. Or like a basic pitch man, because, like I said earlier, I'm not the king with an I. I'm the king, not the king. I'm the king of pitchmen. Yes, I am. And if you don't believe me, call my bluff. Call my bluff. Email me, Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell it right there, Geno Jones Show @gmail. Or leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel. No the. That's simple. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, Kelby Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Alexandria Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Fashion designer and fashion design major at Columbia College Chicago. Shout out to my alma mater, Columbia College Chicago. Stand up! Alexandria Jones is on Instagram. She is, so underscore is that line. So you'll see a line at the bottom that's called underscore, okay? In case you didn't know that. Underscore. Lexi, Lexxie, space, Nicole, Nicole, designs, or Alexandria Jones, Alexandria. Search on Instagram, you'll find her. And Mr. Bruce Gage, also the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can search him on IG, Instagram, or Facebook. Bruce Gage, Gage. All right, I want to thank everybody for those that are watching me live in real time. I love each and every one of you. Mother, I know you're watching. I love you more than life itself. Folks jumped on with me early at the beginning of the show. I appreciate it. If you missed any part of the show, go back and watch it in a couple minutes. It's going to be up on my channel. And like I said, let everybody know. Tell them just to go to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Share this in every episode and like every episode. All right, everybody. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be tomorrow, Thursday. Yes. Wow. So Halloween is Sunday, I believe. Yeah, it is Sunday. You ready for that? You got your costume? What you wearing? You going to wear a costume? You know what my costume's going to be? I'm going to put on this blazer. Put on a nice little sweater or a shirt, and I'm gonna dress up as a black man, as a boss, and it ain't gonna be a costume. It's gonna be the real thing. That's right. All right, everybody. I gotta get out of here. Thank you for watching once again. God, like I said, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all my new subscribers. Thank you. The show is growing incredibly. My views, I just want to thank everybody for the support. Thank you for being on this journey with me. It's exciting. Put on your seatbelt. Oh, yeah, because like an old song, his R&B song by his brother named Kenny Burke, because we're going to keep rising to the top. Doom, 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 doom. All right. Yeah, that joint. Google that. Kenny Burke. Keep rising to the top. Shout out to all my Chicago, Chi-Town steppers, majestic gents. My man, Bruce, my majestic gents, I should say, my man, Fantan, Michael Bryant, Pete Frazier, his beautiful queen, all the majestic gents and ladies. Number love to you. I know you guys got your big event coming up. I got to try to make it home so me and my queen can get our step on. All right, Chi-Town, Charleston, South Carolina, New York City, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my folks up in Detroit City, down in Memphis. Shout out to Larry D. Larry D, former lead singer for the Barcades. My man Larry Dotson got that brand new song called Just We. As a matter of fact, you check it out. If you haven't seen it, check it out Friday. But I got to get out of here, all right? So tomorrow, if you're watching me live, tomorrow, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, or if you're in Memphis, or maybe in Houston or New Orleans, 3:30 p.m. live out in Los Angeles. Let's go Lakers. Russell Westbrook, I see you. I saw you last night. Handle your business. Hey, AD, Anthony Davis, dude, be careful. Stay healthy, pimpin'. We gonna need you. We gonna need you to do you. LeBron, I ain't worried about you, because you the king like I am. The king. They call you King James. I call you King. You the King James. Like I'm the king. All right, everybody. One last thing I got to say, as always. Be blessed. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.